From the studios of WWA1, it's time for the Kevin Keatts Show. The Kevin Keatts Show is brought to you by Carolina Ford Dealers, Governor's Highway Safety Program, Papa John's, R.A. Jeffries Distributing Company, Harris Teeter, Reed's Jewelers, and Molly Maid. Now, here's your host, Mike Vaccaro.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome, everybody. Mike Vaccaro here with the coach, Kevin Keatts, as we talk Seahawk basketball, always on a Sunday, and getting ready for another big week for UNCW, but recapping a big week as well for the Seahawks, who are right now 21-4, 10-2, and tied atop the conference standings. Coach, it was a big week for you guys. You took on Charleston, took on Delaware as well, and to stay atop the conference standings is big right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we split this week, and I thought our offense was really good this week when you look at it, you know, against a good defensive-minded Charleston team for us to shoot 51%, and then obviously 69% against Delaware was really good for us.
And you had the heartbreak of Thursday, a quick turnaround, the comeback, homecoming crowd, a big crowd on Saturday, and able to bounce back, get that win against Delaware. We'll have those highlights later on, but let's talk about Charleston. Again, second meeting, you played them 2 weeks ago, and you knew it was just going to be another grinded-out type of game. Unfortunately for them, one more play, one more point, the difference in this game.
Well, and that's exactly what happened. They made one more play than us. When you look at the stat sheet, if you didn't know the score and you examine it, you would have thought we won the game. Now, when you look at the fact that we missed 11 free throws, then certainly in a possession game, I thought that made the difference in the game. But give those guys credit. All 8 games that we played, which we won 7 of those, have all mostly came down to the wire, and they just made one more play than us. Denzel Ingram hit a big shot with 23 seconds left on the clock, and we had a chance to win it, and certainly it didn't work in our favor.
And again, you point to the free throws, and you look at that, and you break it down a little bit more, and you just look at kind of the wrong guys got to the free throw line that you wanted to. You had those guys kind of miss instead of some of the guys that have been making free throws throughout this season.
Yeah, and you know, that's not, you know, we didn't shoot well from the free throw line against William and Mary, and it kind of, you know, it carried over to that game, and it's unfortunate because when you got a possession game, and that's what we always play with Charleston, you got to make your free throws, and certainly, you know, proud of our guys because we were able to bounce back and certainly get a great win on Saturday.
Well, it was a great crowd inside Trask Coliseum, a sold-out crowd inside Trask on Thursday night with Charleston coming to town. Let's take a look now at our Harris Teeter highlights. Well, again, one more play made by Charleston. They win it 67-66. The Seahawks out-rebound them. More assists and shoot 51%. And Coach, your sophomores were outstanding in this game. C.J. Bryce, 21 points, shot 8 of 10, 17 points, 9 rebounds for Devontae Keatts, 8 of 10 shooting from him as well. So those guys, again, outstanding year for both of them this season. Yeah,
I thought both of those guys were really good in the game. I thought they were both aggressive. They both got paint touches. They did a good job finding each other. And it was a great game. I mean, it really was. And, you know, as I said before, and I usually say this in a win, it was very unfortunate that somebody had to lose a game, and certainly it was us. Yeah, and
again, just the first time you lose against Charleston in your tenure. The Seahawks 7-1 during that stretch, and who knows, maybe one more meeting to come between those two later on this season. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we're going to tell you about the homecoming game. Last night, the Seahawks red hot against the Hens from Delaware. Stay with us. Well, Coach, when you're having a season like you're having, when you lose back-to-back games, you got to make some changes. Yesterday, you went with the yellow uniforms. Jalen Fornes in the starting lineup. Both those certainly worked for you guys.
Well, you know, Jalen had worked extremely hard, and it wasn't anything against Ambrose. I just wanted to give a new energy to the starting lineup, just maybe even to try to get off to a better start. And, you know, it's funny because he's worked really hard in practice. He's made shots. He started the game really slow. If you look at it, he missed a three, then he missed a chippy around the basket. And, you know, we kind of stuck with him, let his nerves get together, and then certainly had a really good night. But I'm proud of Ambrose Mosley, who came off the bench, who we took out of the starting lineup and certainly came in and was huge for us, made 6 3-pointers.
Overall, a school record, tied a CA record with 21 threes that you made in this game. And, boy, the assist rate was really high. 75% of your made baskets were assisted on. How much did those two go together?
Well, I've always said this. I think they both go together. When you talk about, you know, 27 assists, and, you know, we ended up making 21 three-point shots, and I thought we did a great job of sharing the basketball, making extra passes. I thought our passes were right in the shooter's pocket, and it did a good job, man. When you make 21 threes, that's impressive. And, you know, as a coach, we typically don't say impressive stuff, but, you know, 21 threes, that's pretty good. Yeah, it certainly is. Again, tied Northeastern's record that they set earlier this year against Delaware as well. So the Seahawks did it. A record-setting day inside Trask Coliseum. Let's take a look at our Rage Jewelers highlights.
Well, a big game there for UNCW, 108-80 your final score. They got out-rebounded, but there weren't a lot of rebounds to be had in this game with the Seahawks shooting 69%. Again, you see the 27 assists as well. Look at these numbers. 4 guys in double figures. Chris Flemings leads the way with 22. 6 Seahawks with at least 1 3 that they made in this game. Ambrose Mosley 6 for 9. Flemings 5 for 7. Fornes 5 for 6. A season-high 17 for the freshman as well for UNCW. And the Seahawks 13 fast break points. Delaware with 0. So, Coach, he got things turned right back in the right direction. You get the win and did it impressively against Delaware.
Yeah, I mean, we were shooting at a huge rim. I mean, it was impressive when you sit over there. I didn't know, obviously, how many we made, but, you know, it was just everybody got involved. Everybody were willing passers. We did a great job. One of the things we talked about is getting paint touches, playing the game inside out, and we drove the ball and we were able to find shooters, and those guys stepped up and made some huge shots for us. And
around the threes, you had Keatts, big Devontae Keatts, 17 points, 6 rebounds for him, blocked 4 shots as well. So a good win for UNCW, back in the win column, now 21-4, 10-2, and tied atop the conference standings. We'll take a break here. When we get back, it's Ambrose Mosley today, our player profile, the graduate transfer. He's been a difference maker for the Seahawks, so we'll get a look at him coming up next. Stay with us. Well, Ambrose Mosley joined UNCW this season, but he's played against the Seahawks a couple of times when he was a member of Old Dominion. And, Coach, you also know him because he went to Hargrave Military Academy, where you were at one point. You didn't coach him there, but what did it take and what did it mean to you to bring him on? Because certainly he's been a difference maker this season.
Well, we're excited to have him. You know, when you talk about a guy who's already graduated, which he is, he's already graduated from Old Dominion and working on his master's here, doing a great job. You know, he's got good grades right now. But his experience, his ability to make shots, we wanted an older guy that we could bring in the program to help replace Craig Ponder, and certainly he's been huge for us.
And it can't be easy because he's here just a year, and from his perspective to try to mix in and be a part of this team, it's got to be difficult.
It's a hard thing, but when you're a great kid like Ambrose, and you know, I think our guys learned early on about what his game was all about and who he is as a player and a person. And then I think he, you know, he was easily entered into the lineup and did a great job for us.
Yeah, right now he's one of the best three-point shooters, not only in this team but in the league as well, making a difference on the floor. Let's go behind the scenes now. Dustin Dorsey has more on Ambrose Mosley.
After redshirting his first year at Old Dominion, Ambrose Mosley played 3 seasons for the Monarchs. Now, he's a key piece of the Seahawks roster, but he still remembers the time when he lined up across court from UNCW.
That's actually pretty funny that I'm here, but I played in Trask and at ODU, so nice memory.
Ambrose Mosley got some interest from other teams before transferring to UNCW, but there was something special that made him want to come to the Port City.
It's a family. I mean, just soon as the day I signed, everybody accepted me. I felt great. It was great to just be a part of it. You know, it was a good experience.
And UNCW should be happy that Mosley is part of this experience. This season, he has provided a spark off the bench and had 6 games in double figures in the month of January alone.
Duke's down by 3 and make that 6.
Ambrose Mosley's feeling it.
Yeah,
besides the stat line, Mosley says that he brings even more to the table for this team.
Leadership. I've seen it all in college basketball, so hopefully my experience can help the team out.
The team definitely appreciates the presence and skill set that Mosley brings to the table week after week. But wins don't just come in games. We talk about practice.
We have to compete in practice. That's probably the main thing, is compete all the way through practice too. So hopefully that can transfer to the game.
As a leader, Mosley sometimes has to take a vocal role to help the team out. But what you might not know is
I'm quiet. I'm very quiet until I have something to say.
And he has something to say now. Even in his first season, he has grown to be a key part of this team, and it will be on them to stick together as a group, a family, to succeed and bring the title back to Dub Nation.
Like I said, it's a family, even with the coaching staff, our team, all the way down to the manager. So just because y'all made it to the tournament, or we made it to the tournament, so trying to get back, get further in the tournament, hopefully make a good run.
I'm Dustin Dorsey, and you're watching The Kevin Keatts Show.
Bring you back in time now for today's Governor's Highway Safety Program Good Play of the Week. And we go back to yesterday and it was a record-setting play that we'll get to. Let's take a look. Three made on the feed from Fornes. Ingram knocks it down. That broke the school record. The Seahawks went on to hit several more as they finished with 21. But Denzel Ingram makes it a record for UNCW here this season. Well, time now for this week's Molly Mae Glass Cleaner of the Week. And once again, it is the big man down low, Devontae Keatts. Some good numbers here, 7.5 rebounds. A near double-double against Charleston as he finished with 9 rebounds to go along with 17 points, 6 rebounds yesterday. 16 games, coach, this season of 8 or more rebounds, 10 double-doubles overall. What a difference maker he has become for this team.
Yeah, it feels like we're talking about him more and more every week, and you know, he's just getting better. And as you guys see now, he's starting to score with his back to the basket, which could be tough on the other defensive team.
And the defense, you see the block shots there. The blocks have been good this week for him as well, and just doing a lot of good things. And he's the guy, gets the rebound, kind of starts the break, and sometimes he's finishing it on the other end as well.
Well, he's our tight end, if you want to use a football analogy. You know, a guy that can do a little bit of everything. He can block, he can run, he can do a little bit of everything. And now he's rebounding the ball. He's starting to score. He leads the break. Sometimes he's out in front on the break. He's the best finisher that we got. So he's been really good for us.
So again, once again, it is Devontae Keatts this week's Molly Mae Glass Cleaner of the Week. Some really good numbers, 7.5 rebounds, 9 against Charleston, 6 against Delaware. Again, some good numbers overall this season. That leads us to our Carolina Ford Player of the Week, and it's Devontae Keatts. Yes, very good offensive numbers as well. So you saw a little bit of the defense and the rebounds. How about this? Average 17 points, shot 87%, which you expect. 80% from the free throw line, coach. Outstanding. This guy, that's maybe where his biggest improvements come during the season.
Well, he's getting better at it, and he's certainly still not a great free throw shooter, but he's put a lot of work in, especially the last couple of weeks of trying to become more consistent. And we talked about his ability to be around the basket, and he's going to get to the line a lot, so we need him to convert some of those. He's doing a better job with that.
Do you see teams game planning more to try to stop him these days?
Well, I think it's tough because you got to either give up him finishing at the rim, and if you come off, then certainly you know, we have the ability now that we have made shots to make a lot of three-pointers. So you kind of got to mix up your defense, take away sometime, and then take away our guards the other time.
Yeah, definitely opens things up when he's playing well inside. So it is Devontae Keatts, our Carolina Ford Player of the Week. We'll take our final break. When we get back, we'll preview the week ahead for UNCW. Stay with us. Well, just 3 weeks of conference play left. As you see the standings, UNCW and Charleston tied atop the league standings. 3 games up on the next grouping of Elon Townsend, William & Mary, Northeastern 6-6, Madison 5-7, Hofstra 4-8, and then see the bottom 2, Delaware and Drexel. But again, just 3 weeks, 6 games left to determine seeding and where things are heading to Charleston for the CAA Championship. Let's take a look at this week's schedule delivered by Papa John's. 2 games on the docket, 1 more at home for UNCW, wrapping up a 3-game homestand. Thursday versus James Madison at 7 o'clock, then Saturday on the road at Elon 4 o'clock. Coach, second time through with the Dukes here. Big shooting night in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Your thoughts on them this go round?
Well, we've got to continue to do a good job with their post guys. Obviously, we talked about that. They got tremendous size. They're coming off a very good win yesterday against a Northeastern team, and Jackson Kent played tremendous against us. I don't know what the numbers was, but I think he's around 28, 27 points a game.
So again, 2 games this week. Thursday inside Trask. We'll see you all there, Coach. Best of luck.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Another edition of the Kevin Keatts Show.
Thank you for watching The Kevin Keatts Show. The Kevin Keatts Show is brought to you by Carolina Ford Dealers, Governor's Highway Safety Program, Papa John's, R.A. Jeffries Distributing Company, Harris Teeter, Reed's Jewelers, and Molly Mae.